What's up, everybody? This is Ominous for Responsible Gaming, doing an episode of Ominous Designs. Hope you're doing well today. This episode is called Punny Pirates, and you're gonna be discovering why in a second. But first, let's have a look at the cards from last week. We ended up with Irascible Recluse over here. 1 through 3, 1, 3, reach for 3. Every time it gets damage dealt to it, it deals 1 damage to each creature with flying that can block 2/2 flyers. That's pretty cool. I think this one is solid. Our second card last week was Protective Broodmother, which was meant to be a 1/1 death touch for 3 that also creates a 1/1 snake, and at the end of the game, or at 6 mana, you can cause everybody to block you, enabling you to destroy 1 creature and potentially create a lot of snakes. I need to take that back. Enrage is going to be triggering once, even though multiple creatures are blocking the snake. It's gonna the snake is going to get dealt damage only once, so no matter what, it basically only creates 1 snake when dying, which kind of makes this part of the design not that great. I kind of wish it could create several, but that's not going to work with Enrage, so whatever. Moving on to the cards this week. This week we're making pirate cards. I'm thinking we're gonna be making red cards, but let's figure that out. And the first of our cards, it's going to be a raid damage spell, I do believe. So let's try and figure out what we can do. What I want, and I think would be kind of cute, is if we could have something that does deal damage. Wait, it's crazy how like basic templates I fail to remember them sometimes. So red with damage, no, damage spells. They just say deal X damage, right? They don't say target card deals damage. No, they do. Okay, Aerostorm deals 4 damage to target creature player. So that's cool. So Cardin deals 4 damage to target creature. I want to say you don't control, and I'll explain why in a second. Control and 2 damage to target creature you control unless you attack. So let's check something out. So that's kind of cute, right? You're gonna get damage dealt to you if you didn't attack. This is reminiscent of Bellowing Salbrute, and I wanted to know, yeah, see, so Bellowing Salbrute says red, then blah 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 blah. So we're gonna do the same. We're gonna say red, then blah 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 blah, just like that. Now balancing. So how's it gonna work? So there's a couple things that I want to keep in mind. Is for one, I want to not make it so that you can. So let me explain. I started with creating this. I was thinking, well, why don't we create a lightning bolt? Or actually, sorcery speed is debatable. So first, why don't we create a lightning bolt that deals 3 damage to you? And that's the answer to that is also the answer to why don't I put you don't control over here, is that I don't really want to be abusing this card with Boros Reckoner, which is, you know, dealing as much damage to the opponent as it is dealt itself. This would kind of create some sort of goblin grenade for Boros Reckoner, which might be powerful if you could deal 3 to Boros Reckoner and also 3 to Boros Reckoner as well, just because it's going to deal 6 to your opponent. for 1 red, that would be kind of nuts. And if I start making this for 1 and a red, then the question becomes, why the hell are you creating a depowered lightning strike? So I went straight to, let's try and make a high power spell over here. I guess you could go to 5, probably you need to be a sorcery in that case. That's pretty good. That's also the reason why I did 2 damage and not 3, because also Boros Reckoner, I wasn't sure I wanted to have an extra 3 damage available. That being said, 3 with Boros Reckoner will kill the Reckoner. Instead of 2, you actually already get 2 damage, which is close enough to 3, but you don't lose your Reckoner anymore. So I guess that's a kind of invalid argument, and it's better that it kills more than just a 2/2 of yours. That being said, you can still target a 2/2, I guess. It also is powered down in the sense that you cannot use this to defend yourself if you don't have any creature. It's kind of doubling down on red, I guess. Not only you need to attack to get the full power, but also if you don't even have creatures to attack with, then you can't even use the spell, which is interesting. It's an interesting tension. I think this state right here is acceptable. I'm thinking, why not? Now it's time for me to reveal the main reason why this article, this article is Punny Pirates, is because I absolutely wanted this to be on card. One life gives you cannons. Give me cannonade. Erratic cannonade? I don't know. It's how cannonada. Is this how you write cannonade? Let's find out. It is not. It is double and single and I got it all wrong. Apologies. Please forgive me. So there you go. Sweet. I believe this should be sweet. Yeah, I mean, why not, right? I think this is just about the best. Yeah, I think it's fun. 5 damage is kind of a sweet spot for well, I don't know if it's a sweet spot, but it's been seen before on a sorcery speed, like standard playable kind of card. And then you need to attack for it to be playable, which is also pretty cool, so that it allows you to kind of favor some aggressive techniques, aggressive mechanics, and strategies is the word I was looking for, and not give just all control decks some kind of sweet 5 mana, 5 damage removal spell. So fun. And in that case, since you're all agreeing, we're gonna move on to card number 2. Card number 2. Other puns. I was trying to figure out. I decided to go with theme of puns. So now, what the hell can we find as a second pun? And find something cute. I think it's gonna be another cannon pun. So something like that. And the flavor text will be I'm not sure this is what, I don't know, how do you word that? I'm usually happy doing this offline because this is kind of very much creative. I don't think this word means what you think it does. Basically is the something like that. It's a pun because canonical doesn't mean canons. You like? So I'm not sure this means what you think it does. Yeah, sure. We'll see. I'll finalize that afterwards. So let's see. What is important here is I want to have a quick look at the exact definition of canonical. Canonical should be meaning kind of the widely accepted, yeah. So according to canon law, so like kind of the purest version, prescribed official, yeah, sure, including a list of sacred book, yeah. So that's the just kind of the reference, the by the book version of something would be canonical, basically. So that doesn't actually really help us here in terms of what the effect should be. I was thinking this is going to be a blue-red card. Obviously enough, canonical is just kind of, well, I guess it could be white-red if we really wanted to go to the true sense of canonical, but it's okay. So let's have another look. I do believe, so I found the canonist here when I was misspelling canons. I don't think there's any other card that has canon in its name, simply because I typed canon and I found only one. So yeah, each pair was cast a non-artifact spell can cast additional non-artifact spells. Yeah, which I think we'll just have to kind of ignore that kind of flavor interpretation of canonical in Magic and just kind of go for ours, because I don't think I can work with that very well. So I guess that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? It's really hard to try and find a flavor justification. I was gonna go towards like typical blue effects, perhaps an impulse effect, perhaps a loot, perhaps draw card, kind of just blue effects. Yeah. Then again, the joke is that the joke is supposed to be that the person that doesn't understand what the word actually means. So it's pretty tough, huh? It's actually harder than I thought. It is harder than I thought. So we can just kind of ignore pure flavor match. We could say that the blue side of the card is going to be kind of illustrating the person who goes, hey, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what the word means, and we're gonna use that as a kind of knowledge gain afterwards. So I guess anything, well, I guess drawing card is the most likely to be the the illustration of this gain of knowledge, like being corrected by some kind of blue figure that would tell you, hey, you don't, this is actually what this means. So I'm thinking canonical strike. I wonder if it needs to be a strike too. That's the other thing. It could be a canonical. If I could find a word for this, I would say, oh no, it needs to be the strike because the pun is based on cannons actually. So like the first part is actually gonna be doing damage again. So we'll do this deals, how about 2 damage to target creature or player, and make this yet another powered up shock. And we'll do if you so I'm thinking if you attacked with a creature this turn, I want to put some blue in there to just kind of show, because that'll help illustrate the joke. If you do, now the question is, do we go for draw a card? Do we go for, what do we go for? So a shock draw a card for 1 in the blue that only is either a shock or a shock draw a card for 1 in the blue. When you have raid, that sounds too good, doesn't it? Scry 2 is not good enough because that kind of creates a watered down. Actually, it's not watered down. I was gonna say a watered down magma. Is it magma jet? The 1 in a red instant deal 2 scry 2, but it's not quite watered down because this still lets you decide if you want to go for shock or for magma jet, which is pretty sweet. It's just that the scry 2 is actually less in flavor in the sense where we go this is the kind of gain of knowledge. Scry is more knowledge of the future, not just gain actual knowledge. So, and loot is also not very much applying, so I'm kind of in the pickle where I actually really want this to be a draw, and I cannot make this a powered up version of lightning strike either. I cannot do 1 in a red deals 3 and then for 1 red blue draw a card, which would help kind of, it would bring closer to electrolyze. It would actually be arguably better though. Well, you still need to attack with a creature, so maybe not that much. 1 in a blue deal 2 draw a card with red is not too good. And the redeeming factor is that you need to be attacking. No, it's not that you need to be attacking. It's that you need a red-blue deck that attacks. So like a tempo kind of deck. So that would be an amazing card. But it's in a somewhat smaller subset of playable constructed decks. In limited, it would be pretty sweet. It would be pretty amazing, actually. That would be like a straight up 2-for-1 with red. tough. It is tough. I don't know how to. I would kind of hate to have to ask to pay 1 in a blue. I guess maybe it's okay. It just looks bad to me. Where's this thing? Format, insert symbol, colorless 1. Really? Really? Weird. It's not that bad. One red blue, deal 2, draw a card. That's a barely less powerful version of Electrolyze plus an added downside of red, because Electrolyze is 2 damage, 1 card for the same price, except you can split the damage, right? I'm not saying anything stupid. So Electrolyze plus 2 downsides, and 1 upside of sometimes you can just do a shock. It is still quite powerful. You can do only creature. Is that enough? Because I'm still wary of something that is a shock and also is a just about Electrolyze when you have red. That sounds like pretty nasty. I think even right here is already extremely powerful. Like all you need is to have attacked, and you get your 2 for 1 for like deal 2 to a creature, draw a card for a 1 red and a blue. It's already pretty insane. I don't think I have many alternatives though. Like either I go again to the realm of pay 2 to have a stronger removal, but that's kind of annoying because it just create exactly the same thing. Yeah, fine. It's not a shock. It's actually the other thing that's kind of bothering me is that a card that's extremely close to shock and isn't a shock is going to be confusing to people, because shock is such a typical effect to see out there. Oh, also what I could do is, yeah, why don't I just bump this up like a lot? That would be more constructed, typical. So like if I do 3 and I'm actually costing like, I mean limited typical is what I meant. So instant speed 3 damage to a creature is extremely good. In limited, it's still very playable. In constructed, this becomes pretty much garbage. 4 mana for how about this? That sounds kind of fun. So I have the choice of, oh no, this is the strictly better lightning strike, and that's bothersome. Oh no, because it doesn't go to the face. So maybe that's acceptable. The cannonade in Ixalan, let me remember. There's a 1 red fire cannon blast. It's a sorcery speed, 3 damage to target creature, and that gives you an idea of. This is just, even without red, it's just so playable. Like it's so much playable. Dealing 3 to a creature for anything under 4 is just removal nowadays. So over here, instant peak 3 is just also very good. I kind of like this version. Oh, let me think. I actually don't like it that much because I'm really split. I'm really between the two. Instant speed is actually almost a better gain than have it be cheap. Like for example, 1 red instant speed 3 damage to a creature is so much better. I think is it better? Like you would rather have 1 red deal 3 instant speed than 1 and only a red sorcery deal 3. I think. I mean, unless you're really aggressive, I suppose. This also enables us to go only 1 blue for the extra draw card, because I do think. Also, instant speed with red is kind of this interesting tension that you cannot actually do that anytime if you want to be able to have the draw card. So that takes a little bit away from the actual gain of being instant speed, which is good to know. What do you think? I think, like I said, this makes it definitely not constructed playable. Not that we really were hoping for red-blue aggressive archetype in constructed all that much. I mean, standard, that could be a thing depending on the format, but other formats not so much. Other formats, what they want is like some kind of control spell like Electrolyze, and I don't think we can emulate that very much anyways. The closest would be the 1/2 instant speed and then 1 or 2 extra mana. Probably spent a little too much time on this now. I think this is actually very good. I think it could still be a sorcery, but if it's a sorcery, now we find ourselves with almost exactly this guy, Fiery Cannon Blast, except you draw a card for 1 blue instead of dealing 6, which actually should tell us. Well, actually, it doesn't tell us that much in terms of firepower instead of power level. It's very possible that actually I should copy this exactly. The power level of, well, no, I don't know. It's very hard to compare. I mean, I think both could exist very easily. It's more likely that in nowadays power level, an instant speed 3 damage is a little too good. Actually, it's not true. There's lightning freaking strike. I don't know. Well, it really depends on the format, though. Like, I'm getting into the weeds now, but like, check this out. Like, in some format, you get lightning strike. In some formats, you get 1 red sorcery speed only goes to creatures. Given that it's got raid for 6 damage, but still. Too much to think about. Hell, I think this could actually even cost 5 for drawing a card. Deal 3, draw a card is still like very doable. Like you could cost this, for example. Back to 1 colorless and a blue. Instant speed 3 damage to your creature, plus 5 damage. On 5 you can deal 3, draw a card. I don't know, I might even like this even better. Because it's true that like that having a 2-for-1 that costs 4 and it's reasonably easy to achieve is kind of out there. So 5 mana quasi removal plus draw a card, and you do need red still, I think is justifiable in nowadays standard format. So I guess I like that. We went a long way from wondering if we could have like a shock with a draw card or something like that. I do believe that shock that turns into just about Electrolyze is a little too insane. So there you go. And I think part of the power level also comes from the fact that you don't have to even look to try and do this, right? Like it's not just electrolyze or almost electrolyze or almost chalk. It's just either. You decide. As long as you can attack, you can just have one card or the other. Enough. That is way enough blabbering and going into the weeds. Hope you like this version of the card. It will be our final one. What else is there to say? Nothing much. I'm gonna finalize the cards, and you'll be able to see the video very soon onto the YouTubes, and I will post it as per usual on Custom Magic Reddit. You can see it over down there. You know the drill. Down below here is my name. Banzai, that's the old name, and let me know what you think. Next week you'll see the finalized name and illustrations, and we'll be off to new themes. I have no idea what. We will see then. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Fly responsibly.